Good day, my name is Angelo. This is Nation Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. How have we been? So we over here, we've been doing perfectly alright. I have an update on what really happened to Nigerians. By this time, last year, 2022, Nigeria was thrown into chaos because of the Naira redesign, and lots of things went haywire, especially as people prepared for the campaign period that bettered the election period that brought about Bola Ahmed Tinubu's controversy with other political parties. Alright, now during that period, the Naira was in scarcity, and it was due to the reason that was accrued to this Naira redesign. Alright, lots of people blamed Godwin Emefiele, the erstwhile central bank governor, and lots of people blamed President Muhammadu Buhari. Alright, but in this update, I'm going to be exposing the main brain behind and the master planner behind the Naira redesign and currency scarcity. Mind you, it wasn't President Muhammadu Buhari, but somebody very, very surprising. Now, I told you that lots of cronies and lots of allies took advantage of the former President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. This was due to the fact that President Muhammadu Buhari was so silent, calm, and very accommodating that lots of people found it very simple to eat from his government and deceive people. Now, this level of deceit came so vastly that lots of people could not even see the reasons why, or people could not even accrue the reasons why the Naira was scarce to any other person but the president. But in this expose, you're going to be knowing the real brain and the master planner behind the Naira redesign and the currency scarcity. The special investigator on the Central Bank of Nigeria and related entities, Jim Obaze, has indicated that the recent Naira redesign wasn't expressly approved by former President Muhammadu Buhari. Obaze had gathered that the approval came from Buhari's aide, Sabiu Tunde Yusuf, who happens to be his nephew. This was contained in the investigator's final report, tagged Report of the Special Investigation on CBN and Related Entities, submitted to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu recently. Recall that Obaze, a former executive secretary of the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, was named by Tinubu as the Central Bank of Nigeria's special investigator in the letter dated on July 28, 2023. Cited by sources, the report revealed that it was the embattled former CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, who, in collaboration with Sabiu Tunde Yusuf, who happens to be the nephew of former President Muhammadu Buhari, implemented the Naira redesign. Sources revealed that Godwin Emefiele, who is currently in Kuje Custodial Center, is being prosecuted for 1.2 billion naira in procurement fraud. He has not been able to perfect the 300 million bail granted him by the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory on November 2, 2023. However, documents obtained by various sources indicated that the former Apex Bank governor might face fresh criminal charges over the handling of the CBN Naira redesign policy. Emefiele could be prosecuted for illegal issuance of currency under Section 19 of the Central Bank of Nigeria Act, alongside Sabiu Tunde Yusuf and the 12 top directors of the CBN. It was gathered that the Naira redesign policy was sold to Buhari at the instance of Sabiu, and that the initiative was done without the approval of the board of the CBN. Buhari didn't approve the Naira redesign. The investigator further found that Buhari didn't approve of the Naira redesign. It was Tunde Sabiu who first told Emefiele in September 2022 to consider the redesign of the Naira notes. On October 6, 2022, Godwin Emefiele wrote to President Muhammadu Buhari that he wanted to redesign and reconfigure the 1,000, 500 and 200 Naira notes. The former president tagged along but did not approve the redesign as required by law. Buhari merely approved that the currency be printed in Nigeria. The redesign was only mentioned to the board of the Central Bank of Nigeria on December 15, 2022, after Emefiele had awarded the contract to Nigerian Security Printing and Minting PLC on October 31, 2022. Emefiele was said to have contracted the redesign of the Naira to De La Rue of the UK for $205,000 under the vote of the head of the Currency Operations Department after Nigerian Security Printing and Minting PLC said it could not deliver the contract within a short time frame. It further showed that the special investigator found that 61.5 billion naira was earmarked for the printing of the new notes, out of which 31.79 billion naira had been paid. As of August 9th, 2023, findings revealed that 769 billion naira of the new notes were in circulation. The probe of the Central Bank of Nigeria also revealed the fraudulent use of 26.627 trillion naira, ways and means of the Apex Bank, as well as the misuse of the COVID-19 Intervention Fund. For instance, the Central Bank of Nigeria, under former Governor Godwin Emefiele, at its 661st meeting held on October 27, 2020, approved that the Consolidated Revenue Fund account should be debited with the sum of 124.860 billion naira, and the decision was implemented on October 9th. Similarly, the Committee of Governors at its 670th meeting held on December 9th, 2020, granted anticipatory approval pending receipts of a formal request by Mr. President and ratification by the Board of Directors for the payment of the sum of 250 billion naira only to the federal government of Nigeria to address challenges as a result of low revenue inflow and payment of salaries. The decision was implemented on December 15, 2020. The Central Bank of Nigeria investigator Jim Obaze discovered that the Central Bank of Nigeria Ways and Means was abused under former President Buhari's administration. Sources further gathered that under the CBN Act, the Ways and Means provision allows the government to borrow from the Apex Bank if it needs short-term or emergency finance to fund delayed government-expected cash receipt deficit. Right, good job by CBN investigator Jim Obaze. Yes, he was appointed by, or he was assigned by Bola Ahmed Tinubu to do the needful on the Central Bank of Nigeria, probe its audit or probe its finances and other affiliated parastatals that are next or that are linked to the Central Bank of Nigeria. So, Sabiu Tunde Yusuf has been the one all the while behind this Naira redesign policy and all that. Okay, this expose would go far to tell you how much more people took advantage of the formal administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. Right now, I have not only called out Sabiu Tunde Yusuf countless times over his, involvement in corrupt practices during the formal administration. This was because he was given the chance and the yardstick to take advantage of Nigerians by giving him such a very enormous position like the special assistant to the president. All right. Now, not just because he was the essay to the president, but he had links to the president. Mind you, he is the nephew of the former President Muhammadu Buhari. So he thought it wise to use his position in government and his position in the family and his position in the life of the former president to launder billions and millions of Nigerian naira to his personal account. I told you in one of the updates I brought to you a few months ago that Sabiu Tunde Yusuf is now outside the country cooling off as somebody who works outside the shores of Nigeria, all right? And our anti-graft agencies are in the know of this and allow this man work freely. So, with this expose, you're going to be knowing categorically that, well, President Muhammadu Buhari, yeah, approved the redesign, but it was not him that was behind the redesign and the currency scarcity. Of course, it was just brought to him, and he felt that since Sabiu Tunde Yusuf was a very, very trusted ally, he could rely and he could count on him. Neither did he know that it was a very, very bad forum and format for billions and trillions of Nigerian naira to be laundered into personal accounts. Well, Godwin Emefiele was not exonerated in this case. He was implicated because he was in that plan together with Sabiu Tunde Yusuf. All the while, we had, of course, that whoever was blocking this was the former Senate President Bukola Saraki. When he left office, then Godwin Emefiele began his fraudulent activities in 2019 and 2020. All right. Now, that is that on that update. I have a group, a pro-Fubara group, that have come out to support or to show their support publicly for the governor. All right. Now, they have held a rally at the Rivers State Government House, calling on Sim Fubara, the erstwhile governor, or the governor in controversy with his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister, not to be under any sort of pressure whatsoever. According to what these pro-Fubara supporters were saying in this rally, they felt that the governor, who, well, seems to be with them, they felt he shouldn't in any case bow down to Nyesom Wike, because if he does, then their support must have gone in vain. But I'm going to reveal a very, very intricate case or part of this whole thing after this video. Please watch this pro-Fubara supporters.
I will not allow anybody to submerge the will of Rivers people. So I want to call the governor, don't be under any pressure by anybody, We want to call on the governor, no presentation of the second budget to purported members of the House of Assembly. We have one speaker recognized by law, Right Honorable Edison here. And as much, the seat of the 27 lawmaker is vacant. We want to call on the governor. We don't know what you are doing. Our people, we voted for you, and you must listen to us. Tinubu is not from Rivers State. Tinubu is not from Rivers. And as much, His Excellency, please, we beg you in the name of God, don't listen to anybody, any attempt to recall anybody as commissioner who occupy your mayor. Thank you and God bless you. We get your day, make we day our day. We get your day, nobody worry, nobody. We get your day.
Alright, you've heard it all there. Now, there has been a rumor going around that Sim Fubara has not really been reiterating whatever happens in behind closed door meetings to his supporters. People have also confirmed, especially people from the Fubara's team, have confirmed that whatever happens behind closed doors, whether from the meeting with Tinubu, Nyesom Wike, Femi Gbajabiamila, and all those people, Sim Fubara, I beg your pardon, always comes up to lie to his supporters as a form of exonerating himself. Alright, I am yet to confirm this news, but these people who came out to support Sim Fubara at the government house go further to show us, or have gone further to show us, that there are still people of Rivers State that are behind the present governor of Rivers State. You could see the crowd in that auditorium. Alright, there were so much that their sonorous noise was heard all over Port Harcourt later this morning. Alright, so this proves to show that Nyesom Wike might not win this fight, because Sim Fubara is on with the people of Rivers State behind him solidly. Finally, I have a former worker of Nyesom Wike who happens to be his special assistant while he was governor of Rivers State. Now, lots of people who have worked with Wike in the past have come out to, accuse him of lots of heinous activities and unpolitical behaviors. Alright, so one among these people is Mr. Chris Etamunola. Mr. Chris Etamunola was a former senior special assistant, I beg your pardon, on inter-party and party affairs and labor relations to former Governor Wike while he was governor of Rivers State. According to Mr. Chris Etamunola, he was of the opinion that Nyesom Wike is actually the FCT minister, but he is trying to operate as the president, which makes it impossible for him to operate in Abuja and Rivers State respectively. Of course, we appreciate the fact that Nyesom Wike orchestrated the process that brought about Sim Fubara into office, alright? But the truth is, Sim Fubara is now the governor, so Rivers State now belongs to him for the next 4 years until he is re-elected into that position. And as such, Nyesom Wike should allow him breathe, allow him to govern Rivers State as he deems fit, because during your time, you are allowed to do same. Please stay tuned for Mr. Chris Etamunola, former special assistant to Nyesom Wike.
Look, Mr. Wike was a no-nonsense man. Under the watch of Mr. Wike, he will never tolerate what is taking place here. Mr. Wike, the current minister of the Federal Capital Territory, was navigated into office by our mother, former first lady of the nation, Patience Jonathan. Mr. Wike never allowed her to meddle into his affairs. The current president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, one time was a sitting governor of Lagos State. He never allowed Obasanjo to meddle into his own affairs. Why are we allowing this? It is sickening, it is painful, it is nauseating. It is nauseating. In the Federal Capital Territory, where Mr. Wike is operating as the minister, he assumed himself to be the alpha and omega. As a matter of fact, he's operating as though he's the president. Why won't you, I mean, let's appreciate the fact that he orchestrated the current governor, Sim Fubara, into office. Okay, we appreciated that. But at the end of the day, they haven't done that. It's no longer Wike. It's not longer about the federal minister. It's now that the fact that having assumed office and sworn to an oath of office, for goodness sake, the allegiance of the Governor Fubara, the allegiance of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will be primarily forced to the Constitution and to the populace, the teeming populace that voted him into power. No longer to Wike. If you are my father and you married for me, do you have a right to come and sleep with my wife for me? For goodness sake, allow the state to be at peace. That's an interesting
angle to the story.
All right. If people that work with you formally are coming out to say things against you, that means you were never a good man. All right. You were never somebody who could actually be counted on. All right. And this is like the 5th person that has worked directly with former Governor Nyesom Wike, now Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, to come out and say things that are not really right or cool about the former governor. All right, that goes further to say, of course, it confirms my my regular statement about Nyesom Wike when I tell you he is actually controversial. He is controversial. All right, so for Chris Itanemola to come out to say this, of course, that means we all are not visitors, or we all are not new people to who Nyesom Wike really is. All right, so the people of Rivers State should trade with care, because this man is so tricky. Nyesom Wike is a very trickish politician, and if you don't tread with care, he might end up, he might end up scattering the political platform or the political strategy or the political, connection of Rivers State, especially now that he is involved in this controversy. Please, I would urge the people of Rivers State to stay solidly behind Governor Sim Fubara, because this is the time he needs the people of Rivers State most. Thank you so much for staying this far. Please like and share our videos. Don't forget to drop a comment for us in the comment section. If you've been watching me for the first time, please tap the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you'll be able to see me immediately I drop a new update. See you next time. Bye.